I gotta go for mine. Windshield time. I take quarters, pennies, dimes, and nickels in the kid's side picture. I'm a desperado. Word is bond. What's up, Raider Nation? Yeah, it's bumping that old school LL. Welcome in to another exciting episode of the Raider Ragu Show. All right, check it, man. We got a lot to get to. OTAs, day 3, wrapping up. I waited until now to do the show. I could have did a show a couple days ago, but I was like, why, do a show now when OTAs is going to be wrapping up and I could possibly, something come up or whatever to where I wasn't able to cover it. But so we waited. Day 3, OTAs wrapped up. They're done. Raiders are done with football practice until when they come back in training camp in July. They got about 6 weeks, Coach Carroll said. All right. So let's go, man. Let's jump right in. Let's start touching on the different things, Pauls, in the OTAs that we learned about. All right. Number 1, the DBs that are starting right now. The 5, if you would, starting DBs, if base is mostly nickel or some form of a 4-2-5, if you would, you understand what I'm saying? So the 5 DBs, which are basically the base package, are left corner, Darian Porter, right corner, Eric Stokes, slot, Darnay Holmes, IPM at one safety, Jeremy Chin at the other. IPM being Isaiah Polamau, if you guys don't know what's up with Raider folklore. Understand? So, yeah, what you guys think about that? So, Jacorian, who was the starter last year, is running with the tools. DCAM, who started some games last year, is running with the tools. Various assortment of safeties, Trey Tucker, Landon Collins, Chris Smith, and at least one other guy, playing safety. But right now, this is the starting 5. So we were starting the season today, playing games. We would run Stokes, Porter, and Holmes out there as the corners, IPM, and Chin. What you guys think about that? I'm going to tell you, Darnay is thirsty, man. He's every bit as thirsty as Hobbs. They try to pump up Hobbs. For what reason, I really do not know. He's done nothing but got beat over these last couple seasons. And not even with any complicated moves, man. Just run, one cut, boom, turn around. Like, just run a slant. Guy go right across his face. Like, but everybody talks about Hobbs and like how he was such a good player or whatever, and Green Bay took him and whatever. So this guy, Darnay Holmes, is every bit of Hobbs, in my opinion, as far as covering and sticking your nose in there on the tackles. We all know if you're playing corner, at some point you're going to have to be playing a little bit of linebacker because they're going to run, right? They're going to run when the nickel is in there. And since you replace the linebacker, you that linebacker now in like a 4-3 base scheme. So you're going to have to tackle. So I think Darnay is up for that. So far, he's going to compete because Petey is not just going to have, Darnay Holmes just sitting there thinking that he is the guy. He's going to have some guys to compete with, whether that, whoever that is, man. I'm not sure how they doing that. Is it, you know, Jacorian Bennett down in there? Is it DCAM down in there? They have Chris Collier, I believe, is the kid's name. Uh, Kai Blue Kelly is in there. I don't know who's all competing for the slot, but I know Holmes is not just going to be handed the slot. But right now, man, Darnay Holmes, a guy that we had picked up on last year's team, kind of just as an afterthought. Not many people thought much of him. But right now, he's starting nickel. And then the rookie Porter and Stokes from Green Bay. It's a decent corner. Had a good rookie year a couple years back, and it's kind of like an afterthought to Jair Alexander because he comes from Green Bay. He played the other side from Jair, but Jair was a injury prone. Let's just be honest. The last 2 years, he's only played, I think, 14 games. I heard, and there's literally 34 games to be played in 2 years now. So Stokes looking to redeem himself. IPM looking to make a statement. Chin looking to be just, what he's been and maybe a little better. Porter looking to make a name for himself in this league. And Holmes, man, looking to finally find a place at home, right? Where he's going to be a starting guy, looked at as one of the first 11 guys on the team, first, 12, 15 guys on the defense. It's really, you can say who starts, but really, it's the guys who get in a lot and who play in the sub packages or whatnot, because one day you might be playing a base package of one thing, and then the next day you be playing a base package of something else, and you don't start. But you really do start once you get back in and play the package that you play in. Some guys playing all the packages, right? Like Max is an all the packages guy. But a lot of the guys aren't like that. But yeah, I just wanted to, lay that out there. Starting DBs right now, our 5 are Porter, Holmes, Stokes, IPM, and Chan. All right, moving on. Just wanted to talk a little bit about Chip Kelly's offense and his offense in regards to tight ends. So let me backtrack a little bit. We did a video with Chip with multiple unbalanced sets, crazy formations with 3 stacked running backs, to the left of the quarterback. Just, crazy looking stuff. But what I've been hearing this week out of OTAs, though, is the use of Big Michael Mayer. It seems like Chip Kelly is making it a major point to get Big Mike going. All right. 2nd round pick a couple years ago. It's going to be his 3rd year now. Out of Notre Dame, was a big time player, big time prospect. From what I've been hearing in OTAs, Chip Kelly is trying to get him going, throwing it a lot to him. We're going to feature him, Bowers, and 12 personnel. And then Big Mike actually let slip that they've been running a lot of 13 personnel. And that's when that guy, Ian Smith, I believe his name is, that has come along in OTAs and opened some eyes. Coach Pete Carroll talked about him. Chip Kelly ain't really said nothing about him, but Coach talked about him. And Michael Mayer let slip that they've been running some 13 personnel. 13 personnel, 3 tight ends, and 1 running back. That's what they mean when they say that. And, you only get 4 people behind the line of scrimmage, right? So you basically got all tight ends and a running back in there. uh, two receivers on the line, perhaps. So, um, exciting stuff, man. I'm hoping to see if we can get something out of Michael Mayer. I ain't gonna lie, because I, I don't like to call NFL players trash, but I was starting to, he was starting to creep into the overrated category. Um, you know, I can't even really, I ain't gonna say bust, but definitely he was slipping into the overrated category. And because no games have been played since he was slipping into that category, right now he's still in there, right? And I'm hoping that he comes out of that. But right now, man, I got Big Mike is overrated, man. He ain't really did nothing, man. So we gonna see. I want him to show what he really can do, and prove the overratedness to be wrong, or the bus tag. Take the bus tag off of him if he can prove something, man. But let's be honest, man. If we keeping it 100, we keeping it at 1,000. Raider fans, come on, man. Big Mike ain't really showed us nothing. He had that one catch in his rookie season where we was like, he caught it over somebody. I want to say it's Carolina. It's a great catch over in the corner of the end zone at Allegiant. Man, I ain't really heard from him since, man. He be out there getting blasted, right? He ain't got no moves. He not real fast. He be out there getting tattooed from what I saw, what I've seen. When he catches the rock, he be out there getting hit pretty hard. But I'm encouraged. I'm happy that Big Mike is getting more involved, and from what I understand, looking good too. Looking good. So good. Shout out to Big Mike, man. I'm happy for him. So moving on. For the first time in a long time, the Raiders got no drama going on at off-season football practice, right? We're not wondering who the coach is no more. We don't have no quarterback issue. We don't have some receiver where we wondering if he too good to stay on the team or not, and if he gonna be asking for a trade, and where is he at? Is he at home? Is he in the tub? Like what is he doing? Is he rehabbing an injury for real, or is he just on some diva stuff? And then he eventually wants to be traded after 4 games in the season. None of that kind of stuff going on, man. No holdouts, no drama. We know who the QB is. We got good coaching staff in there. And I just want to say that feels good, right? On some other podcasts talked about it. I want to speak on that too as a Raider fan for longer than, you know, most guys that got podcasts are old. Um, it feels good to not have no type of drama in the off season. And that's one thing that bodes well. The fact we got no drama, and also the fact that we um, have a nice rotation at the defensive lines. Like we got about 7, 8 guys that can contribute. Hopefully, Christian Wilkins is going to be one of them come the start of the season, but perhaps we're looking more like 4 or 5 games, week 5 into the season. Um, and then I'm not jinxing them. I'm just being realistic. But we have decent depth up there. We'll talk about that not today, but we'll get into the defensive line perhaps on another episode with a video accompanying it and things of that nature. But I just want to say, great to have no holdouts, no drama, no issues, no this, that going on, bunch of noise in the media, none of that. We just over here getting to work, competing and getting better. And what Pete is saying, he's over here looking for uncommon consistency. And I was like, man, I'm gonna try to use that in my regular life, right? Uncommon consistency. Like it's so consistent. It's not something that you see every day, how consistent it is, right? Most people waver and flop or whatever, flip flop and go back and forth and waffle, right? And volley as to what's gonna be their day-to-day get down. You understand? Pete is saying he wants that uncommon consistency in your everyday get down, right? Keeping the main thing every day, and then showing up and showing that you're working harder than you did. You're not even necessarily working harder, but getting better, improving upon what you did just the day before. Just the day before, right? And we going through this every day. Uncommon consistency. And also Pete says you can't have a great team without great teammates. Oh man, I love it. Oh, I love that kind of stuff right there. Right? If you want to be a part of a great team, be a great teammate. Bottom line. You want to be a part of a great team, be a great teammate, which means play to the best of your abilities. Know your assignments. Be on time. Encourage your teammates. Go the extra mile. All of that, man. Care about the guys. When you're not at practice, talking real life. You can't have a great team if you're not a great teammate. So we out here trying to have a bunch of great teammates on one team, right? Couple leaders, and we're gonna change this thing around in Raider Nation in 25. I thought those were just great things by Petey. Moving on. Q Myers interviewed Colton Miller. I don't know if it was Q or not, but Q played it on his show, and I caught it on there. And what Colton was saying was how much better he felt about being where he's at right now versus last year, right? Remember, I talked about I felt like he milked it and held out a little long on the injury. As it turns out, that's probably not true. Um, Colton Miller has a great attitude. He could easily be a me guy and say, "Hey, I need some guaranteed money as a guy that's played in this league at a high level for a long time. I need some guaranteed money, or pay me or trade me." Right? He could be in that space right now. He could afford to do that. He could do that actually. He's a good enough player, got enough skins in the game, uh, got enough of the trophies on the wall or whatever, as to say, to be able to speak like that. And then an organization accommodating him in such a way, to where, if they're not going to pay him, let him get out of here to somewhere that's he's going to get paid. But Colton Miller is not even tripping off that. Colton Miller is at football practice. He's not holding out. A lot of players would be holding out right now. Got no guaranteed money on last year in this deal. Veteran offensive lineman who has played well. But Colton Miller's at practice, bro, and he has a great attitude about it. He's saying he just out there trying to get better, man. Be around Pete Carroll's system and all that, and competing and getting better and better for the team and for himself as a person. He's the dude just had a great take on the thing, man. Because a lot of, if you keep it at 1,000, he could be like, man, screw this. You know what I'm saying? I'm better than this. They should been brought me in and gave me some bread. And I got an attitude about it. But he doesn't, man. He's not only does he not have an attitude about it, he's got the opposite. He has a great attitude, great outlook about the whole thing. So I was really impressed with Colton Miller's attitude, man. And he's one of the leaders out there. And it just got me to thinking about this year's squad, man. And, the guys are really bought in to Pete's program. You got veteran guys that could be holding out that wouldn't dare just because they want to be there for what's going on right now. And, I'm loving it, man. I don't want to get, like everything is all, rainbows and puppy dogs, right? Like my man Q say, like everything is just hunky dory great. And that we're going to go undefeated or whatever and win the Super Bowl. But I just feel good about the different things that I mentioned coming up to this point right here. I feel good about the fact that, we got Gino on board already working hard, balls, and we got, guys that's bought in, man. They want to be at football practice. Can't wait to get back. So it looks like a great situation brewing here in Vegas, man. So shout out to Mark Davis, man, and the staff, man, for getting it done, man. And all the people he hired, PD, Johnny, and all the rest of the coaching staff and scouting staff. Great job so far, guys. And here's another example of a great job that they're doing. So early in the spring, they brought Max in, gave him a new deal, right? Made Max happy. Remember, he had been kind of chirping, saying how he didn't have any guaranteed money. Brought him in, gave him guaranteed money, made him happy first, right? Before the guys I'm going to mention. Before Myles Garrett. Before TJ Watt. Before Trey Hendrickson. Before Micah Parsons, right? Smart move by Johnny Spytek again, man, because he knew if you wait till now, start getting closer to the summer, closer to camp or whatever, and you want these guys on your team, whether it be, you're going to try to acquire these guys by a trade, or you're going to go ahead and meet these guys' demands, but you want the guys on your team. And they locked Max up early, man, and basically shut Max up, right? In a good way, I'm saying. Made him happy, paid him. And then, Cleveland followed suit with Myles. But just think, man, if you Cincinnati and Pittsburgh and Dallas, you still trying to work out with TJ Watt in Pittsburgh, Trey Hendrickson in Cincinnati, and Micah in Dallas. You still trying to work out some type of terms for your top edge rusher. These are the top edge rushers in the league right here. So another shout out to Johnny Spytek and his crew, Pete, everybody, man, that got that done with Max to where they're not leaking right now. Hoping, you know what I'm saying, that they can get Max to agree to something. They jumped out there, got Max to agree to what was he was the highest paid guy at that time, right? So he couldn't even complain. And then Myles immediately followed suit and became the, highest. And they might just stack it upon that, even though I feel like don't nobody deserve more than Myles, but they might stack that up. TJ might want a little more. Trey might want a little more. Micah, there's going to be a scale off that, man. That's just how it is, bro. And a lot of stuff goes into it, not just play or stats. There's the versatility, there's the youth, the relative health or not health. So that's another shout out to the Raiders front office and the Raiders this season, bringing Max in, not prolonging it, and getting it done. But with that said, what are we waiting on with Jacoby and Colton Miller? I feel like those are two guys that we should get some type of extension going for them. I don't know what Johnny is thinking, and if as we speak, they could be working on something for both of those guys. But I was saying for Jacoby Myers, 3 years, 51, right, with a 1-year option for the club. Colton Miller, 4 years, 80-year option for the club, right? I done it for you, Johnny. It ain't really much you got to think about, bro. Might just a little language of it or whatever. All right, but those are the numbers. Should come back somewhere around 51 for 3 for Jacoby and 80 for 4 for Colton. All right, man. We gonna move on, man. Um, okay. This right here, this is strictly to Raider Nation right here. I've been hearing some chatter about AOC outplaying Gino in the OTAs practice. First of all, man, shout out to Aiden. I got nothing against Aiden, man. He's a good guy. But bro, I'm here to tell you, man, let's cut the Aiden O'Connell stuff, man. Let's knock it off, bro. This dude is not a good starting NFL quarterback. We will not have a good record if Aiden O'Connell is our starting quarterback. Enough with all that, man. Yes, he can come in and spell and look good. He's not the answer. Stop mentioning him, please. It's getting ridiculous, man. You guys sound retarded. Like Cube, you trying to be nice to y'all. I'm telling you, sound dumb. Didn't you watch the games? We know what this guy has. Stop it. He is nowhere near as good as Gino. So cut it with all of the he playing better than Gino in practice crap, man. And just the overall him as our quarterback starting, period. Let's cut that shit. No more of that. No more talk of AOC starting QB. Please. Let's cut it. Please. Take yourselves off of the whatever you want to call it, man. Stop mentioning him. AOC is not a good starting quarterback in the National Football League. I don't care what anyone says. And he's shown that. So just please stop it. Just picked up Jermaine Pratt from Cincinnati. So moving on. Jermaine Pratt, inside linebacker, off ball, bunch of tackles, heavy tackler, pretty good hitter. So we just got him in the building. So now that gives us another veteran presence at the linebacker, which I was kind of semi worried about just deep, going with Devin White and Elandon Roberts with no depth. This is going to provide some depth. Okay. My thing about this move is I was watching. As soon as they announced the signing, well, not as soon as, but as soon as I had the opportunity to do so, I went and checked out the Raiders Bengals game, right? And Jermaine was there, right? I also did that with the Pittsburgh Steelers and Raider game from last year with a special eye out for number 50 on the Steelers, which was Elandon Roberts. So Jermaine Pratt, I believe, is 57 over in Cincinnati. The interesting thing that I saw is that both of these guys are the same guy. You like Ragu? What the hell are you talking about? How they can be the same guy? What I mean by that is, at this point in their careers, I saw both of them coming out of the ball game on third down situations. Both of them. So my question to the people, up top, do we draft him as depth? Is he here to start? Are you gonna bump him to the other side? Like, what are we doing? He's the same guy, right? Now you got to take Roberts and him out. If you got him and Roberts in passing situation, you got to take him and Roberts out. And then who are we putting in? Who are we putting in? So this whole linebacking thing has me a wee bit concerned. I'm gonna keep my eye on it. But yeah, Jermaine Pratt and Elandon Roberts are the same guy. And then that's just it, man. I ain't gonna go too much on it. They're the same guy. We'll see going forward. Just remember that I said that. And we'll evaluate what they talk about as camp approaches and goes by. And then lastly, man, as I was watching film, before I let you guys go, man, I was watching film and my main man Bowers, man, he set a lot of records, right? Rookie record, tight end record, receiving record, all that. But I just realized, man, watching a couple games, and this is no disrespect. When in doubt, get the rock to Brock. But a lot of them yards and a couple of them touchdowns, man, was in garbage time. And we know it. If you keeping it 1,000 with yourself, Raider fans, nearly 1/3 of Bowers' numbers was in garbage time. And I ain't saying that he ain't wet or whatever, but third of his yards was in garbage time. I'm interested to see what Brock's gonna do season 2, along with all these other guys that I just talked about. So, hey, appreciate you guys tuning in. And like I always say, man, I ain't gonna hold you, just win, baby. And peace.